Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Yep, it's daylight. Another wonderful day in the Philippines. I'm a little slow this morning, as you can see. Anyway, this is Monday. I forgot what day of the month it is, but anyway, it's election day here in the Philippines. And I've noticed this morning that there's quite a few people stirring before daylight, all getting prepared to go and cast their vote. Grace already told me yesterday that it should be going. Now, I don't go to the polls. Um, haven't been to one of their polls in many years. Uh, the one she goes to, it's a difficult place to get to. You need, basically, you need a little four-wheel drive truck to get there, because most of the road is in a creek bed. So she's gonna use motorcycle transport to get there today, which she don't like because it's going through that creek. And the rest of her family, same way. They're going to do the same thing. Anyway, another piece of news. We did our little trip to Dumaguete. Did our 3-night adventure. Uh, things went very well. Got to meet our friends that I haven't seen in years. It was fantastic. It's great to see them again. I didn't realize how long we've been friends. Good God Almighty. There's one of my first friends coming here in the Philippines. He's from Norway. His wife's Filipina. But it was good. We touched base on a few things we'd been doing in our life, for one thing or another. He now is actually looking for another house. He built the one he's living in now. I had it built. But he's so now the traffic's so congested, he's looking for something different. I can understand that. If Grace and I decide to go to Cebu, I've already decided I'm not driving. We'll take local transportation, because it just, to be honest with you, it's just too tough, too dangerous. So that's where we're going to be on that if and when we ever decide to go. Now, another plus on there is a little news about the little van. We did a lot of road trips while we were there, and different areas and different scenarios. And I pushed the little van pretty hard on purpose. Just to make sure everything was up and up on the money. After all that aggressive driving, and we're talking total, I'm trying to do this in miles, we roughly put almost 700 kilometers on it, which is roughly 500 miles, thereabouts, pretty close, at least 450. And yesterday I decided to check the coolant. I'm one happy camper. Hit right on the money. Oh, what a relief that is. After 4 years of constantly adding coolant, even though it was a small amount, it was very disturbing. But I'm happy now. Can't complain. The little vehicle done very, very well. Now, we did have one issue, a dangerous issue. On our way down, I guess our first stop was a place that grew sunflowers. I noticed before we got there, I acquired some brake noise. And I thought maybe it got rust on the rotors again like it did on the original rotors. And it was touching that. Anyway, we stopped. And where they had to go, I decided I wasn't going to go, and I stayed at the van. I started investigating. Driver's side, I had lost one of the bolts out of the brake caliper, and one of the brake shoes was hanging down, brake pad. And here we are. Time to find someone to get the wheel off and go out and find a bolt. No. Something that simple here in the Philippines, hard to come by. Anyway, we did finally get a person to do that. I had all the necessary tools. All I needed was someone to physically do the labor. And sad to say, it's very difficult for me to do anything. I really don't like talking about it because all my life I've done everything myself. Now I'm at a point where I physically can't do that. And it's very disturbing. Very, very disturbing. My hands don't work like they used to. So this is very disturbing. But anyway, they finally located a bolt that's usable. It's not the original style. And we're back on the road. So I immediately contacted my go-to person for parts. Because I replaced these once upon a time, back when we first got the van. I bought, because we had brakes, the calipers were rattling, and it was very disturbing. So I bought new brake slide pins and bolts, and had them replace them, get rid of that noise. That rattle was very disturbing. Anyway, I paid a lot of money for those pins at that time. I think about $40, a little over. I thought that's kind of outrageous, no more than what they were. Of course, my supplier I use now, they didn't have them in stock. So I contacted him, and sure enough, he got them in stock. So I ordered a complete set for both sides. So when I got back home yesterday, the parts came, and I got my helper out back, Willie. We pulled the wheels and removed them. Now there's one thing different I did this time, because when I originally done this, I couldn't find no thread lock or Loctite, as I would call it. It wasn't available, and I wanted the red. I wanted the high heat. There wasn't nothing nowhere, not even on Lazada at that time. And it was very disturbing, but I replaced them. But this time around, I got my Loctite. It's available. It's available on Lazada and also with my supplier that I normally use. And he's very competitive in price. It's actually the same price for the same exact bottle. And by the way, I did get an extra set of pins and bolts, which I'm going to carry with me, just in case. Just in case. But I don't expect to have any more issues with using it like the Loctite. But that was a very dangerous situation, you know, because the front brakes does all the work. And those familiar with how the brakes work on about any vehicle. So I got that taken care of, and it's set overnight because the Loctite does take to fully cure 24 hours. 2 hours it's set up, but to fully cure is 24 hours. So we should be in good shape later today. We don't have any. I don't have any plans going anywhere, so it's going to get set to 24 hours. But that's a scary situation to be in. And oh, by the way, big difference in price this time. Instead of spending $40 for half, for just 2 pins and 4 bolts, I bought 4 pins, 8 bolts for about 20 bucks, roughly. Not even hardly 20, but thereabouts. That includes the Loctite. So that's good to know. I probably was taking advantage of the first time because I ordered those from a place in Luzon, Manila area. I think it's Cavite if I remember right. I think they just took advantage of the situation, more than likely. But anyway, folks, we had a very successful journey. Virgil got the ride go-karts, which he was entertained. To my surprise, those go-karts were electric. And they did a good job. I mean, they was for a kid's cart, they were pretty quick. And he adapted to it really quick. You know, he never had driven anything like that. He rode a bicycle. So he'd been doing that for years. But something with 4 wheels and a gas pedal and a brake, he had never experienced before. And I was surprised how well he adapted. Done quite well. Then Grace and I got to do something. I haven't been on a ATV, 4-wheeler, probably since 2008, but I think that's the last year, somewhere along there. Anyway, they had ATVs that we rented for a 45-minute ride, okay, which we had a tour guide that went in front of us, and the speed was quite slow, but that's okay. Grace got an experience on an ATV. Now, the ATV itself looked good, and it was only 175 cc's, but it was geared so low. It was unbelievable. And the biggest issue was the steering. You know, I rode a lot of ATVs over the years, and I have never come across one that complicated to steer. I mean, I had to manhandle it. My shoulders were sore for 2 days. And I'm glad we didn't have to spend no more time we did on it, because it was miserable to drive. You know. Turning radius on it was ridiculous. Basically, I had never seen such a poor setup on the front end. I don't know why it's so stiff. And it wasn't just mine. Other people, or other companions, they did the same thing, and that was their complaint. And it was an experience. And the ride, it was very entertaining, by the way. After put that aside, good scenic ride. We drove through a creek, or they call it a river. And we went on dirt roads, which was not bad at all, nothing aggressive. And we got to see some new construction and so forth. And it was actually, the ride itself far as doing it, it was quite nice. I wouldn't have to recommend, but be cautious. I can't remember the name of the place. Forgive me for that. But it was quite nice. It was very enjoyable. And we, after that adventure, we stopped at. They had a restaurant on site named Sir George, and we ordered food there. I got their burrito and beef burrito. It was um, okay. I can't give it bragging rights. Would I buy it again? That might be a little iffy. It tasted good and everything. It just wasn't a good experience, as you would say. Now, on the way in, we stopped at Cafe Racer, and their burrito was, just to be honest with you, actually you got burritos with Cafe Racer. They're very, very good, fantastic. I guess if I hadn't had the Cafe Racers, I'd probably give Sir George a higher rating on the burrito. But after eating there at Cafe Racer, the rating for Sir George's burrito fell 50%. Now, I'll tell you something else good at Cafe Racer, if you've not been there in Domageddon, is their give me a moment to think. Filet mignon, bacon wrap. It's good size, full of flavor, and they prepare it the way you like it. I always get mine medium well, and it was perfection. And of course, I had a salad, and give you an order of fries on the side. And it's affordable. Not like most places that I have had over the years. It's very affordable. And normally when we go there, I try to treat myself to something there at Cafe Racer because the food is just very, very good. But anyway, folks, thought I'd touch base with everybody, let you know the old man's still kicking. Not very high, but I'm still here. And I'll update you on some other things here in the near future. So everybody take care, and thank you so very much for watching.